Good morning. Good morning. Are we still morning? We're in the morning. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Pete with another tech news Friday. We're on at the moment. We're just testing some new camera settings. We've changed the PC we're streaming from, so we thought we'd do a bit of a brief live stream to make sure it all works. So whilst we are live streaming, we're going to just be covering a bit of tech news today. Like I say, just for a bit of a test and it gives us a chance to talk about some techie stuff. We have Matt Chester's here as well.
Hello.
One of our senior engineer, and he's gonna tell me all the things that I need to know about all the questions, all the news topics. So I guess we'll crack through them. There's literally just a list of things I just picked up over the last couple of weeks or so. We've had very, very recently, Facebook has launched Libra, its own cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
Libra, I guess so.
Libra. That's how I pronounce it in my head. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. It's been rumoured for a few months now, I think. People in the know suspected that the Facebook were going to try and do something with the blockchain to create their own currency to trade within Facebook.
Doesn't it run off, because I haven't read a huge amount into it, but I think the old kind of blockchain and cryptocurrencies all run off like the blockchain, whereas something about Facebook's, you might not know, but Facebook is backed by, is it something like banks, or it's backed by actual real currency instead of?
So it's controlled by like 20 organizations. I've got a list of the companies here that are doing it, but it's a blockchain based technology, and they're open sourcing it as well. But there are a list of, I think it's like 30 companies. It's like MasterCard, PayPal, Visa are in there as well. Who else? Like Uber.
Oh wow, okay.
eBay, Spotify, and then other people that have already been in the crypto industry, like Coinbase.
Okay. So it's got some big name backers then.
Yeah, they're controlling. I think they're basically in charge of holding the blockchain or confirming the transactions. So a lot of the criticism is that it's a lot more like a traditional currency than it is.
Can defeat the whole purpose of
and they don't really use the term cryptocurrency at all during it. It only seems to be the news publications actually say cryptocurrency. I think they've been calling it like a stable coin.
Okay. I also saw, I think the BBC have also said that, maybe it wasn't the BBC, somebody said that they're being pressured to delay the launch of it because of their significant lack of privacy, I guess, is the wording.
Yeah, and there's concerns over it as well. These companies that are invested in it, I think they've had to invest like 10 million each.
Wow.
They have voting power over it, and I think they get some information if the people that are using the currency choose to opt into marketing, they have information of the transactions that are being made and personal data and stuff like that. Facebook use the term privacy all the time, but what they mean is like encrypted, and Facebook have the key.
Matt's frozen, unfortunately.
I'm a frozen person.
Matt will try and fix that one. Anyway, I'll move on to the next one. So the next one we had was, and it's just a very silly socially media type thing. So apparently YouTube are going to start abbreviating the subscriber count. So rather than having 114,410 subscribers, it's going to be more like 1.1k listeners, 1.1k subscribers, or 1.5k. So you're not actually going to see any accurate subscribers. And similarly with Instagram, they are also running, or I think they're playing with the idea of removing likes from photos. So not a huge, real techie thing in our world, but obviously all the marketing stuff we're doing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why. Did you read into why Facebook would change? Oh, sorry, why YouTube were changing the?
I think it's similar to Instagram. They're just trying to remove the focus away from just getting subscribers.
Okay, I didn't know if it allows them to stop having to count views as well as they are at the moment. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube where I think they have like 3 different systems for how likes are counted. So if your video has like under 1,000 views, is it likes or is it views that it's reporting on?
It might be views. This is subscriber count it's talking about.
Instagram is likes, and then YouTube. Oh, okay, subscriber counts.
Instagram is the likes. YouTube is the subscriber counts, but they've done some all sorts of funny stuff with subscribers. So there was what did we run? We ran a competition with Gleam, like an online platform called Gleam.
Yeah.
And YouTube have now changed their terms and conditions so that you can't run a competition that one of the like entry categories is you have to subscribe to a channel. They've completely like banned you from doing that anymore. which sucks because that was quite an easy way of getting subscribers. um, but
Yeah, with things like views and stuff like that, they have a very difficult time actually getting an accurate count of what the views are. So you'll find, depending where you are in the world, you'll hit a different cluster of servers, which will then have a different count of views. And I was wondering if it's a way to not have to give an accurate count of how many subscribers you have, or views, or likes, or
I've had,
whatever it is.
in very small kind of part of that, I've had that with subscriber counts. I've like looked at my phone and it said we've got a certain number of subscriber counts. I've gone to my desktop and it says like there'll be a few 3 or 4 digit difference.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just I guess hitting different servers.
There was a known not glitch but like feature of YouTube where once you get a certain amount of views, once you get like over 1,000 views, the number would always freeze at like 1,004 or something
really?
like that, and it would stay like that potentially
You're
for
too
like
popular.
hours until you move on to the more accurate system at counting it over that amount.
Oh right.
So they give you like a low priority system for counting a few.
I guess they get
views,
so
and
many
once it
people that
gets
just
higher-
have like 5 viewers, probably like us on our live streams.
yeah. I guess it's I guess as well, once you get to those kind of numbers, it's important for them to count accurately because they start paying out at that point as well.
Oh,
if
of course,
if you've
it's
got
all
adverts on
monetised.
your channels, then
Yeah, very
they
true.
need to be able to accurately say how many people have actually viewed the video.
The Instagram one I like because it's removing likes. Because it's moving away from this whole there's this whole thing of like influencers on Instagram, and the fact that they're now removing the ability to see how many people have liked a photo is gonna really, I guess, screw up a lot of people out there, because they're going to be selling on the basis that my post is going to get 5 million views, but no one can actually prove that they're going to get any views at all nowadays.
Yeah,
So that'd be quite fun.
I saw this morning, I think some MPs reached out to Instagram, to influencers of Instagram, to basically ask them to stop taking selfies as well, because that's
really?
like a
Destroying the nation.
Yeah, it's because especially a lot of influencers are targeting, or not targeting, but might be seen by children.
Yeah,
having a lot of selfies make you kind of body conscious about yourself and seeing all of this stuff. So I wonder if it's a similar thing to that as well.
Stop it, Kim Kardashian. Wi-Fi 6, because that's completely actually techie related.
Yes.
So Wi-Fi 6 is actually really, really cool. I've seen a few videos on this, and I don't know if you read up much on the spec. It hasn't officially been released yet. I think it's getting finalised later this year. But people are still releasing hardware made to the draft spec. So Wi-Fi 6 is the new version of Wi-Fi. They've basically now renamed all of the standards, so now they're like Wi-Fi 456. I think it was 802.11. So AX is Wi-Fi 5, I think it is.
AX is 6.
Or AC is 5, sorry. Yeah, so AX is 6. But they're now trying to just standardise on this, just Wi-Fi 6 to make it easy. But it's really, really cool. I don't know if you read up and kind of how it works a bit.
I have a bit, yeah. I understand that we've got... we're not seeing a massive speed improvement compared to previous generations, because I think like the transition from N to AC, which would have been 4 to 5, was like a 6-fold increase.
Yeah,
and this is a bit faster, but it's mainly interesting how how it's splitting up the channel, and how having more devices on the same range doesn't have the same effect that it used to, which is that it would hog the whole channel and reduce the quality of the signal that was going through to other devices, cause a lot of interference.
The main benefit I've seen has been for big like events, like when you're doing like I don't know, big shows, or when you're at like gigs and there's like hundreds and thousands of people there or whatever. It should fix that issue of like, well, the Wi-Fi's crap. You might as well be better off on like 4G or whatever. Because rather than effectively you queue up on like any other previous generation, so Wi-Fi 5 or earlier, you queue up, so you effectively, everyone trying to do something is in a queue on the Wi-Fi system, and then it gets to you, and then it moves on to the next person. Whereas with Wi-Fi 6, it does it in such small chunks that it doesn't really work like this, but basically it can talk to everybody at the same time, because it's just dealing with those micro transactions each time. But that's going to be, I think that's going to be quite good when it comes out. I think it's going to be very expensive. I think the people that have already released the hardware, you're talking about close to £1,000 for an access point that does the hardware, in like the business world at least anyway. Yeah. But then they're geared towards the big venues.
I think it's very ballsy to decide to release something based on a non-confirmed standard.
They did that with N though, didn't they? Wireless N.
Yeah, and I suppose it's kind of a done deal at this point, but as all these devices need to be able to speak the same language, and so if manufacturers are jumping the gun and releasing wireless access points early based on unconfirmed standards.
I think I read that it's the standards have been kind of finalised but not officially
signed off.
Yeah, so
as being...
now that from the hardware people are making now, the standards aren't going to change dramatically from what they are. It's not going to be any kind of. They're not going to need to rewrite things.
Yeah, I assume it's more likely that there would be a newer technology come out and they'd say, actually, we're going to skip
go with that instead.
AX and go to whatever next AZ. On a similar note, did you see Philips Hue have released or have announced a product line of Wi-Fi enabled light bulbs or Wi-Fi?
What, actual Wi-Fi bulbs?
Yeah, Li-Fi is it they call the standard?
Oh,
so
is it LiFX or those kind of things?
Yeah. Where it's you as long as you have something that can receive it, your light will flicker in a way which sends ones and zeros.
Really?
It's the idea. So it's flickering so quickly that you can't do it, but you can then receive bytes through the lighting.
Wow.
It's been talked about for a few years, and there is like a standard of it. I went to really weirdly in Pompeii in Italy. They had in like the visitor centre or whatever, they had an area where you could connect to this Li-Fi network. But I'm like, who has a device that can connect to a light bulb?
Surely it needs like a receiver sensor thing to like read the...
Yeah, I don't know how... I haven't really read up too much about it, but how it would transmit back to that router as well. Presumably you need to have some sort of infrared light on your device, yeah. But that's the idea. Your device can see the really quick flickers, receive those bytes, those ons and off, ones and zeros.
That'd be really cool to get a slow-mo camera and just like see what it's actually doing.
Yeah, that's interesting as well from a security point of view, how
true.
Really easily be able to intercept.
Broadcasting out from your building and just be like, I'm just going to watch it.
Yeah.
Only a few more bits left. Google Calendar, don't need to go into it too much unless we know what happened. I don't think we know other than it had a massive outage yesterday. It wouldn't have been yesterday now, it would have been, Thursday, Wednesday. I think that was an actual Google Calendar outage. I don't think it affected Mail or anything else, literally just Google Calendar.
No, and they didn't release any information about what actually happened as well, but it seemed to affect everyone globally. Yeah.
Everyone had the afternoon off.
Had nice
easy
404. Yeah, no appointments. Clear your schedule.
And then not really a techie one, but where we've just moved offices, recent studies show that having an open plan office is actually less productive than having like separate closed offices. And it's been most of the things in recent years have been open plan offices are definitely more productive, and I agree with it in a certain respect because open plan offices, you can talk to everyone a lot easier, you can overhear things, which means particularly in our environment where you're chatting to customers about their kit and about the software they're using and the problems that have cropped up. It's so easy just to overhear something and go, oh, yep, I know about that. I can put in my 2 cents. Whereas I can also see the other side of the argument of having private offices because now I've got my own office. It's really quiet and I can get on with a load of work. But being in an open plan office now, I mean, we've only just come from one, so I can probably see both sides. But supposedly it's now more productive to be in separate cubicles.
Yeah, and I suppose this kind of it all depends how your team works as well, I suppose. So if collaboration is really important to the way that you work, then sharing an office with those teams that you work with or people that you work closest with is going to make a difference.
True.
I think with all the studies I've seen, it's always been like particular industries which seem really obvious that it would be better that everybody had their own private space to work in. You
need more space for it as well. You need the space to put the partitions in, and it'll be the whole office space where you just have those old blue divider things on legs that you just like put up everywhere and box people in.
So I suppose you've got to decide if the industry you're working in is actually beneficial to close everyone off from the rest of their team.
More like solicitors and maybe accountants, those kind of people would want to be just like boxed away.
And if it's really going to improve productivity enough that it justifies the office space.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah, I think with that kind of stuff as well, I used to work with someone who worked around Europe and other countries quite a bit, and found that majority of Europe in our industry would work from home mainly. Compared to, so you'd have these big companies that wouldn't pay for the office space. Yeah, and it's a similar kind of thing, I suppose, if you have your own office or if you just tell your employees, no, you work from home, you get a good working from home solution.
I like the idea on that because you save a lot of money. But
yeah, and you just rent either
to go to a Regis building or something.
yeah, you can just have like a shared meeting area that people can go there.
I think we just then massively miss out on the collaboration and like just the whole like, overhearing conversations and like,
exactly.
do you know this? Do you know that? It's a lot easier to do that than it is to like go on chat and ask somebody and do a video conference, and it's just a bit more work. But then yeah, massive cost savings, particularly if you're a large company and you do like on-site audits and things, and you're just constantly out and about, and you just come into the office and have a hot desk, and then you come and work for an hour and then go back out again. That 100% makes sense. Yeah, obviously fits in with the right kind of business, really. The next one we have on the list is Gigabit Broadband Voucher Scheme. And I was only going to have a brief chat about this because I've seen quite a few quotes from other providers. And it's so the Gigabit Broadband Voucher Scheme has been out for ages. It might even be over a year now. And it essentially allows businesses to get up to $3,000 off of the installation of gigabit-capable internet. So it basically means you need to buy a lease line that can be capable of doing a gig. So you might only sign up to like a 100 meg connection, but it has to be on a gig bearer, which is what we in the industry call it. Effectively, it means you can increase your speed right up to a gig without having to pay for another set of installation. But loads of, I guess, ISPs and broadband companies have been, I feel, abusing it a little bit because they'll then see that they can get £3,000 on every lease line install they'll do. And every time we do a lease line install, on a 3-year term, it's always free installation because the likes of BT and Virgin will always do free installation on a 3-year term. So I've just seen quite a lot of people that are doing the whole, well, installation's £3,000, it's fine, it's covered by the Gigabit Voucher Scheme. But when you actually look at what you're getting, you'll get, say, a £600 router, but then technically it's just so the ISP is benefiting by, £2,000 or £2,500 or something. It's just been really, really annoying, and I thought I'd throw it in there because it drives me nuts. And we've had a few customers come to us and show us quotes, and we're not registered for the Gigabit Voucher Scheme, but every time we've then looked at the quotes and quoted, we've gone, well, we could actually be better than these people and do better pricing, just off the cuff without needing the voucher scheme, because you always get free installation on a 3-year term, and you put in the right kit that's actually less value than it's not £3,000. Yeah, just thought I'd throw it in there.
I suppose it might be a reason to look if you can benefit from that now anyway, because if they start realising that ISPs are benefiting from, or line installers are benefiting from this £3,000 back, they might take the scheme away or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, they had it a while back with the was it the Superfast? They had a very similar scheme with Superfast broadband, where by getting a Superfast broadband connection, you could get I don't know if it was £3,000, but it was maybe £1,000 or two. And that was great because again, you could do the same thing. I can see the point from a customer point of view. It's brilliant because you can get you maybe could get the £600 router included for free, and the labour, the IT company's labour to come and set it up for you. From the IT company or ISP's point of view, fantastic because you get £3,000 with every installation you do, regardless of what you're selling, because you can just take the margin. I guess it's just the government that's losing out because they're probably paying out £3,000 at each time to installs that don't cost £3,000. It's just ridiculous.
And so, you, the taxpayer.
Anyway, that's my rant over. And then lastly, Florida City. I know it's not in this country, but it's a lot of money, $600,000. They are apparently giving in to the ransomware demands. They're going to pay $600,000 to the attackers or whoever ransomwared them, on the basis that they don't actually know if they're going to get any of their data back, because it's that whole, well, if you pay them, are they actually going to help us and unlock our data? It's just another one of those high-profile, big events that makes you just wonder that why didn't they have any backups effectively? And we've done a load of work recently with likes of Datto, where we're talking about Office 365 backups and backing up your data and all your servers and things. So just thought it was quite one to highlight for the tech news. I don't know if you read into it much at all.
I haven't of this one, but I did hear there's been some US states that have had quite a lot of issues with ransomware this year. And I've just had a look now because it reminded me of one just apparently it was in January. Del Rio in Texas, they had to close, saying they had to shut down their city hall, had to declare a city emergency because of ransomware, which took out the town for 3 or 4 days, I think. Wow. They didn't have the right backups in place, and they didn't have any means of actually restoring services. I can't remember if you spoke about it before, but I think this is the one where they had to set up Gmail accounts for all their employees as well. So they had to set up free Gmail accounts. The reason it came into more news because of that was Google ended up blocking their emails because of this one IP address, this one location that it created so many free
everyone suddenly
Gmail accounts, and it started sending it out. So that just held up business more. It just shows that it's important to have good continuity with this kind of thing as well.
Wow.
Even
I'm just reading up on this this particular Florida City one. Apparently it says, this is just reading off Engadget. The attack took down the city email network, forced Riviera Beach to pay employees and contractors by check instead of direct deposit, and made it so 911 dispatchers couldn't enter calls into their systems. The city says there was no delay in response time despite the technological barrier. I highly doubt that. There must have been a delay when you can't actually enter it into your systems, but who knows?
Yeah, and I think it's been bad for smaller US states as well this year because they seem to be being targeted as well. This isn't just somebody accidentally downloading a dodgy file. This is actual hackers finding ways of gaining access to these systems to hold them to ransom, basically.
That's quite similar to the what was it? The not Thomson Reuters. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? Well, here's the one we had earlier last month, the big one, the accountancy one.
Oh, Walters Kluwer.
Walters Kluwer, yeah, because from my understanding, and they've still made no official announcement, is that one of their customers or an IT company, saw a public FTP site that hosted all their software updates that was open to like everybody. They noticed loads of like dodgy files were also in that FTP site. So then they reported it to Walters Kluwer. Walters Kluwer obviously then picked up the issue and started looking at it. Shortly after, their network gets switched off. So it makes me wonder that if the Walters Kluwer employee just went, oh, I wonder what this is, double-clicked on it, and then it just, like, ransacked their network, which is really, really bad, because it literally went through, like, on the basis of what they shut down, it was websites, it was internal systems, external systems, production systems, tests, it was literally the entire company they shut down, which makes you kind of worry that they haven't actually separated anything from anything.
Yeah, it's like the nature of these attacks, it would just spread to anything that it has access to, and I think that's what was being leaked by supposed employees online, that their particular branch, their particular location had to be shut down just to...
Yeah, told to switch off and go home.
Yeah, basically, because they can't risk it spreading to these other devices. And then you've got the hassle of finding out the source of the infection as well. You shut all these computers down, and then you need to...
turn them back on one by one and be like, is it this one? No. Is it this one? No.
Scan. Yeah, that's quite unfortunate for them. I don't know. Did they come out and confirm if it was a ransomware attack or not? I can't quite remember.
I think they confirmed it was a ransomware attack.
Yeah,
don't quote me, and certainly not official, but I'm pretty sure they said it was a ransomware attack. They didn't quote what strain or anything it was, or any other information other than your data's protected, it's safe. We've carried out some more work. I think they brought all their systems back online again. They brought all the systems back online. And then the next day they had to take them back off again because they found some more stuff that they needed to take care of. But it was just crazy. The fact it was off for an entire week, literally from Monday morning to like Friday evening, people had to close businesses for the week because they just couldn't do anything. Just completely unheard of. But one of the risks of using a cloud-based system, I guess, really, just make sure you've got another platform, a backup, anything you can do just to crack on with business.
Yeah, don't rely on paying these people. I think it's the main message. You're never guaranteed to get your data back, and you're feeding this form of
that's another 600 grand they've got to spend on doing it again to somebody else.
Yeah,
they can employ a load more people to do it.
Yeah, so it's spend the money now to protect your systems rather than having to pay down the line. And
it's that insurance policy, but it's an insurance policy that you're actually quite likely to use. It's not like the car insurance or car insurance where you would just pay it and never ever use it, and hopefully never ever plan to use it. But ransomware and crypto kind of insurance is it's common. Every business is kind of getting attacked. If you don't have any email security out there, you probably have been attacked already. Those that are taking the right steps are probably still under pretty significant risk of catching it through any kind of means, really. So it's always wise to be protected. Yeah. I think we'll probably leave it there.
Cool.
That's probably it for
sounds
now.
Good.
So hopefully the stream worked well. Morning, Dave Kemshaw. I've just seen your message, and you're very recent. Hello, Dave. Thanks for watching. You're probably our first comment on the live stream. So just whilst we're here, please come along on Monday afternoon. We're going to the Hampshire Meet the Chamber event. We are actually, hopefully, if everything goes well, going to be bringing all of this stuff. So all of the cameras, the microphones, the live stream equipment, the computer stuff, like literally everything, hopefully, if we can fit it all in the car. So we're going to bring it all along with us. We're going to set it up, and hopefully some Hampshire Chamber members or whoever's going to attend, if you fancy trying to do a live stream, if you want to just try some podcasting and just record something, we're literally going to have everything there for you. We can record it all, send it to you over email, or get it sent somehow, and you can live stream from the event. If you really want to brave it and be on camera, you can do your own live stream. We'll literally hook you up to the right accounts, whether that's on the chamber social media accounts or on your own company accounts. Then pretty much open for suggestions, really. So yeah, that's Meet the Chamber event. I'm not sure on the time. It's definitely Monday afternoon. I think it's like 4ish. Completely might be wrong, but I'm sure Dave Kempshire will comment on Facebook if that's wrong. And yeah, thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.